Hello, good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Are you all well? I hope you are all healthy.
Healthy.
Uh,
Yes.
before we start,
I'm healthy.
okay, very good, man. Michael, you healthy?
Yes. Very healthy.
Okay. So I want to thank you guys for this opportunity. We could present another presentation from praat.id. Okay, before we start, my friend Raymond here is gonna tell you a little story. Okay, Raymond, go ahead.
Yes, I would like to tell a story, right? So I have this friend, right? He really likes girls, right? So when we're just talking, we're having coffee, and some girl just walk in, and he just goes like, "Damn girl," like going with the eyes, the staring, right? The staring at the butt, like, "Damn girl," like that. For me, that's very annoying, right? Especially for the girl, right? Especially when he whistles like yeah, like that, right? Right,
Oh,
Hansen?
man, that's bad, man.
Yes, that so for me it's like that's very harassing, right?
Yeah,
That's why our topic today we like to talk about sexual harassment.
yeah. So
With
before we
one.
start, Raymond, do you know that what your friend did is considered as sexual harassment?
Oh yes, I know.
Yeah,
That's why it's very annoying,
that
right?
is that's annoying, man. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm gonna tell you guys more about sexual harassment. We're gonna go next slide. This is our topic for today. It's justice against sexual harassment. Before we start, I want to tell you, the audience, to watch our presentation is age 17 to 22, not younger, not too old. If you're too old, you couldn't understand because already you easily get forget because you're too old. You get it, guys? Yes.
Yes, we get it.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
funny, Hansen. Yes.
Okay. Next slide. So our purpose on presenting this topic is we're gonna tell you the definition of sexual harassment, and then we're gonna tell you why sexual harassment is wrong and why we should not justify it. And the third purpose is we're gonna help victims of sexual harassment all over Indonesia. Okay, we're gonna go to the next slide. Go ahead, Raymond.
Yes. So, what is sexual harassment actually? Sexual harassment is an unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature, which make a person either feel offended, humiliated, or even intimidated. Sexual harassment have various forms, such as like unwelcoming touch, like when you hug someone, or especially a girl, when you hug someone and you touch them on their thigh, right? That's also sexual harassment. Staring or leering, like what my friend did, right? He saw a girl walk in and he just go like the eyes just follows her around, or suggestive comments or jokes. We can go into the next slide.
Wait, before Raymond. Suggestive comments or jokes, it means like giving, for example, a girl posts Instagram pic and then the girl wears sexy pics and then somebody like a boy comments, oh, for example,
Sexy.
he's sexy, like, but
I see.
sexy
Oh, she's
in,
so hot like that, right?
yeah, in purpose to harass, like bad
Mm-hmm.
purpose, not to give compliment. It's considered sexual harassment, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, so
No,
it's
I know.
considered
No, I know.
sexual harassment. Okay. We're gonna go to the next
Indeed.
slide. Okay,
So
Raymond, go ahead. Oh, my
so there's
Emmanuel, you share
yes,
start.
it's me, man. Okay, so there's
Sorry.
mainly two types of sexual harassment. So the first one is the physical one, the physical abuse. So this consists of physical activity, like for the example, it's like domestic violence. This is one of the most, the most basic form of physical abuse is domestic violence, where in Indonesia it's called KDRT. So when wife get punched and that type of things, that's a physical abuse. So the second one is verbal abuse. It's, for example, like Raymond's friend. It's one of the example of verbal abuse, right, Raymond? Like catcalling and eye leering, like
Yes.
that. Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
many
like
two
the
example.
picture, right? Like high sexy like that.
Yes, high sexy. Oh, that's so bad, man. That's a verbal abuse, very annoying, very bad. So that's the main two types of sexual harassment. Next slide.
Okay, now for the effects toward the victim of sexual harassment. Basically, victims of sexual harassment often suffer emotional and psychological harm. They often experience decreased confidence and self-esteem. Physical health problems may arise, such as loss of sleep and appetite, weight fluctuations, nausea, and headaches. So, there are two types of the effects. The first one is emotional effects. There is stress, depression, and anxiety. And then the physical effects, there's loss of sleep and appetite, weight fluctuations, nausea, and headaches. Next.
Okay. Now we're gonna talk about misconception of sexual harassment. So basically, misconception means misunderstanding. In misconception of sexual harassment itself, the misconception about sexual harassment is when someone feels they are being harassed, but in reality they are not. Emma is gonna tell you a story about the misconception of a sexual harassment.
So it's just like a case study. No, it's not actually a case study, but it's a case where, for example, there's an old lady, like accidentally dropped accidentally dropped her
Her.
wallet, and then there's a
Yeah.
man like with a good heart, you want to help that lady on helping the dropped off wallet, and then the man took the wallet, and then he like tapped on the lady's shoulder, but the lady misunderstood. The lady thought the man is going do some sexual harassment against on her, but in reality the man actually have a good purpose of
Purpose.
tapping her
Yeah.
shoulder to tell her that, ma'am, you just dropped your wallet. So that's one of the example of misconception of sexual harassment, misunderstanding. How about you, Hansen?
Yes. As I said before, it's misunderstanding where the man has a good purpose to return a drop wallet from the women, but the women misunderstood. She thought that the man is trying to touch her in a bad way. You understand?
Yes.
Yes. So basically, it's called misconception of sexual harassment. Okay.
Okay, so there is the regulation on sexual harassment in Indonesia. So I will read it with bahasa Indonesia. Perbuatan cabul dalam KUHP diatur dalam buku kedua tentang kejahatan. Bab 14 tentang kejahatan kesusilaan, pasal 281 sampai dengan pasal 303. Perbuatan tersebut diartikan sebagai segala perbuatan yang dianggap melanggar kesopanan atau kesusilaan dapat dimasukkan sebagai perbuatan cabul. So if anybody want to try the sexual harassment, you will get at least 5 years of prison. So don't you try to do sexual harassment in Indonesia. Next.
Okay. 5 years of prison, man. So don't you dare try sexual harassment, especially in
Yeah.
Indonesia. 5 years is a long time, man. Don't you try. Bad.
So we also gonna present you guys one of the pretty recent news example of sexual harassment. I'm gonna go next slide. So this is one of the recent hot topic on sexual harassment. Mr. Herry Wirawan as a Islamic boarding school, Islamic boarding school owner rapes 12 students. It's a pretty ironic thing because what a Islamic boarding school owner do is actually it's for God, it's pretty ironic thing because in Indonesia we call it pesantren. So pesantren is a place where it's a it's a good institution, a good purpose. So with this man Harry raping 12 students, and even the worst thing is after the police investigation. So this pesantren is on Bandung, on the city Bandung. After the investigation on police, in the investigation found out that there's actually 8 students raped and currently having a baby inside their stomach, and even there's a total of 8 babies, 9 babies actually, because there's one student actually pregnant twice. So this is a pretty bad example of sexual harassment, and this is a pretty recent news. So this is one of the example.
But
And
you know,
even yes, what?
but I heard that he get what he deserved, right, in prison.
Yes, this man got beaten up with the other inmates because what this man did is a pretty disgusting thing to do. He deserved it, the beating up session in the prison.
Okay, now how do we help the victim? Of course, there is a way to help the victim. I'm gonna explain to you guys. So don't tell them what to do. Instead, ask them what they need. Like, for example, if they are wearing something too sexy, rather than saying it's your fault, right? You're wearing something too sexy. Of course, guys will do that to you. Don't say that. Rather than saying that, you can comfort them, right? Now, next slide. Also, we as humans, as normal humans, we can only encourage them to seek professional help because we can only listen to them. We don't have the brain of a psychiatrist, so we cannot help them a lot, but we can encourage them to seek professional help. So I'm pretty sure the psychiatrist can help them very much. And let them know they're supported. Like, you can say like, it's okay, you're not the only one who gets harassed all the time. Many women get this problem. They have your back, right? So they will more comfortable, right?
Okay, so I think we have reached to our conclusion for our presentation, and basically, people in Indonesia has a wrong mindset about sexual harassment. For example, a woman who wear revealing clothes are asking to be sexually assaulted. But the fact is, no one asks or deserves to be sexually assaulted. Women dress to feel comfortable and attractive. Per- Perpetrators are responsible for their own action.
Yes, but do you know that there are a few myths in Indonesia that says that a man can't be sexually assaulted by women. But the fact is, although men are sexually assaulted by although women are sexually assaulted by men, but there are a few chances that sometimes women assaults men sexually. And also there is a myth that if someone is drinking or taking drugs, they are asking to be sexually assaulted. But the fact is, being under the influence of alcohol and drugs can prevent person from being able to consent to sexual acts with another person. It is a crime to have sex with a person who cannot consent due to being intoxicated or drunk. Remember that drinking and taking drugs does not influence good decision making. Especially in Indonesia, like Michael said before, you're going 5 years in prison.
Okay, sadly, we have reached
Wait,
to the. Oh,
Michael. Yes.
yes, what it is.
Before we end all of this, right? I have one quote
Yes.
for our viewers, right?
What is man?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you the quote. You are not the victim for sharing your story, okay? You are the survivor setting the world on fire with your truth. And you never know who needs your light, your warmth, or your raging courage. So that's for
Oh,
all our viewers and you guys too, right? Thank you.
yes.
Yes.
Very inspiring quotes from Raymond, right?
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for all of you guys for the time and attention, and for Mr. Andre. We hope that our presentation will bring good vibes for all of you guys. We are proud and thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Wait,
Guys,
goodbye. So there's any
before,
questions?
yeah, do you have any questions regarding our presentation?
Yeah, actually, I wanna ask you something.
Yes,
So
go ahead.
so why don't women report sexual harassment?
Okay. So, basically, why don't women report sexual harassment? Actually, the answer is shame. Because one of the primary reasons women don't come forward to report sexual harassment or assault is shame. Shame is at the core of the intense emotional wounding women and men experience when they are sexually violated. As expert on shame, Gershon Kaufman stated in his book, The Power of Caring. He said that shame is a natural reaction to being violated or abused. In fact, abuse by its very nature is humiliating and dehumanizing. This is especially true with sexual violations. The victim feels invaded and defiled, while simultaneously experiencing the indignity of being helpless and at the mercy of another person, said Gershon Kaufman in his book, The Power of Caring. So, sexual harassment and assault can be a humiliating experience to recount privately, let alone publicly. Victims of sexual harassment and sexual assault in adulthood or sexual abuse in childhood tend to feel ashamed because as human beings, we want to believe that we have control over what happens to us. So basically, that's the answer. I forgot to add that we believe that we should have been able to defend ourselves. And because we weren't able to do so, we feel helpless and powerless. This powerlessness causes humiliation, which leads to shame. I hope I could answer your question. Is it clear or you're still confused?
Yeah, it's clear already. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, maybe Emanuel or Raymond or Michael has something to add to help you.
It's pretty clear.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're and he understands you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
If there are no further questions, thank you guys for your attention and time. We hope that we could see you in another presentation. Thank you guys. We are proud. Goodbye.